As I regained my balance and stepped back, a flush crept up my cheeks. I was acutely aware of the closeness we just shared, the electric undercurrent that lingered in the air. I glanced up at my stepson and his friend, their expressions a mix of concern and something deeper, curiosity, perhaps, or an unspoken attraction. "Are you okay?" my stepson asked, his voice slow and steady, but I could sense a shift in his tone, an added layer of intimacy that hadn't been there before. "Yeah, just a little embarrassed," I replied, attempting to shake off the awkwardness. I guess I underestimated how tightly I'd fit under there. I forced a laugh, but it didn't quite mask the tension hanging between us. His friend, a tall, athletic guy with warm brown eyes, stepped forward. "You really scared us for a moment," he said softly. "We thought we'd have to call for help." He flashed a smile that sent a flutter through my stomach, the kind of smile that ignites something within you, a spark that can't be ignored. We spent the next few minutes trying to lighten the mood. They both teased me about my cleaning obsession, and their laughter echoed through the room. Yet beneath the joking banter, there was an undeniable tension, a pulse of something more profound and exciting. As the afternoon sun streamed through the window, casting warm rays over us, I felt my heart racing. It was confusing, this attraction I felt towards them, particularly towards his friend. I was aware of the age difference and the complexities that came with it, but at that moment, the barriers seemed to fade away, replaced by an intoxicating blend of excitement and danger. "Let's grab something to eat," my stepson suggested, trying to break the lingering awkwardness. "I'm starving after all that." As we moved to the kitchen, I couldn't shake the feeling of their eyes on me, the weight of their attention making my heart race. I busied myself preparing sandwiches, but my mind wandered back to that moment under the bed, how it felt to be held by them, the mix of fear and thrill. We sat around the table, the casual atmosphere doing little to dampen the heat between us. The conversation flowed easily, but every time his friend caught my eye, my breath hitched in my throat. The way he looked at me, filled with a mix of admiration and something else, sent butterflies swirling in my stomach. "Do you have any plans tonight?" he asked suddenly, drawing my attention back to him. I shook my head, feeling my cheeks warm. "Not really, just the usual, catching up on shows or reading," I replied, trying to play it cool, but my heart raced at the idea of what might happen if I said yes to whatever he had in mind. "What if we made it a little more interesting?" he suggested, leaning forward, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "We could play some games or watch a movie. It could be a fun night." I glanced at my stepson, who nodded, seemingly on board with the idea. The thrill of spontaneity washed over me. "Sure, why not?" I replied, trying to sound casual even though my heart was pounding. As the evening unfolded, we moved to the living room. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, each moment dripping with possibility. We settled in on the couch, a little too close for comfort, our bodies almost touching. The tension thickened as we chose a movie, but honestly, I wasn't paying much attention to the screen. My focus was entirely on the two of them, the way they laughed together, the way their eyes occasionally met mine with a flicker of something deeper. Halfway through the film, I felt a warmth against my side. My stepson's friend had shifted closer, his arm brushing against mine. My breath caught in my throat, and I tried to focus on the movie, but it was futile. The heat radiating from him was intoxicating, and I could feel the magnetic pull between us intensifying. Suddenly, a jump scare in the movie made me yelp, and without thinking, I turned to face him. Our eyes locked, and the world around us faded. The atmosphere shifted again, thicker this time, charged with unspoken words. I could see the desire flickering in his gaze, and in that moment, it felt as if time stood still. "I didn't mean to scare you," he whispered, his voice low and teasing, but there was an intensity in his tone that sent a thrill through me. "I wasn't scared," I managed to reply, my voice barely above a whisper. "Just surprised." Our faces were inches apart, and I could feel the heat radiating from him. It was intoxicating, thrilling, and terrifying all at once. Every part of me wanted to close the distance, to feel his lips against mine, to explore this connection that had ignited between us. But just as I leaned in slightly, my stepson's voice broke through the moment. "Hey, what did I miss?" He looked from one of us to the other, a hint of suspicion in his eyes. I pulled back, my heart racing as I realized how close we had come to crossing a line that could change everything. The rest of the evening passed in a blur, the air heavy with tension. I tried to focus on the movie, but my mind kept drifting back to that moment, to the way his eyes had locked onto mine. When it was finally time to say goodnight, I felt a mix of relief and disappointment. "Thanks for the fun night," I said, my voice barely above a whisper as I stood in the doorway. They both smiled, but there was a knowing look exchanged between them that sent a shiver down my spine. "Anytime," my stepson's friend said, his voice soft and inviting. "We should do this again soon." I nodded, feeling an exhilarating thrill rush through me. I closed the door behind them, leaning against it as I processed everything that had happened. My heart raced with a mixture of excitement and uncertainty. What had begun as an embarrassing incident had transformed into something intoxicating and dangerous. Lying in bed that night, I couldn't shake the memory of their touches, the glances that promised so much more. I knew that this was just the beginning of a complex and thrilling journey. The suspense of what might happen next hung in the air, and I couldn't help but feel drawn to the possibility of exploring these newfound feelings, even if it meant navigating the complicated waters of family dynamics. The next few days were filled with anticipation. I kept replaying the events of that night in my mind, the closeness, the intimacy, the spark that had ignited between us. I found myself stealing glances at my stepson and his friend whenever they were around, my heart racing each time our eyes met. It was a dangerous game, one that could easily lead to complications, yet the thrill of it all made me crave more. As the weekend approached, I found myself wondering what would happen if we got together again. Would the tension return? Would we finally confront the feelings that had simmered beneath the surface? The thought of it both excited and terrified me. Finally, on Friday evening, I received a message from my stepson's friend asking if I wanted to join them for a game night. My heart skipped a beat as I read his words. I hesitated for a moment, but the urge to see him again, to explore this connection, was too strong to resist. I quickly texted back, agreeing to come over. When I arrived, the atmosphere was already charged with energy. The boys had set up snacks and drinks, creating a cozy environment. They greeted me with warm smiles, and the moment I stepped inside, I felt the familiar pull of attraction. We settled in for a night of laughter, competition, and playful banter. As the games unfolded, the tension between us grew thicker. We were all acutely aware of the unspoken words hanging in the air. Every time his friend touched my arm or leaned closer to explain a game, I felt the electric spark ignite again. At one point, we took a break from gaming and moved to the couch, the three of us sitting closely together. I could feel their warmth beside me, the way their laughter echoed in my ears, making me acutely aware of just how drawn I was to them. In a moment of spontaneity, I suggested we play a game of truth or dare. They exchanged curious glances, but agreed. I felt a rush of excitement as the game unfolded, each question and dare bringing us closer. Laughter filled the room, but it wasn't long before things turned a bit more serious. Truth or dare? My stepson's friend asked me, a mischievous glint in his eyes. Dare, I replied, my heart racing, knowing that this was the moment where everything could change. I dare you to kiss whoever you find most attractive in this room, he said, his voice steady, but the tension in the air shifted dramatically. My breath caught in my throat. The room went silent as I processed his words, the weight of the dare heavy between us. I glanced at my stepson, whose expression was unreadable, then back at his friend, whose eyes were locked onto mine with an intensity that made my heart race. The challenge hung in the air, daring me to take the plunge. With a surge of adrenaline, I leaned closer to him, feeling the heat radiating from his body. As our lips met, the world around us disappeared. It was a soft, tentative kiss, but the connection was electric. It ignited a fire inside me, awakening feelings I had tried to suppress. Just as I pulled back, I could see the surprise and delight dancing in his eyes. The atmosphere shifted, becoming charged with a new intensity. I glanced at my stepson, who seemed momentarily taken aback, his expression a mixture of confusion and something else, perhaps understanding. It was a delicate balance we were walking, and I could feel the tension wrap around us like a thick fog. Wow, my stepson's friend said, his voice a little breathless. That was unexpected. I couldn't help but laugh nervously, my heart racing. I guess it was a dare after all, I replied, trying to play it cool, but the heat in my cheeks betrayed my composure. "Okay, my turn," my stepson said, attempting to regain control of the situation. He looked at his friend and then back at me. "Truth or dare?" "Truth," I said, feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety. "Have you ever thought about us like that?" he asked, his eyes probing, searching for an honest answer. I hesitated, my mind racing. This was a pivotal moment, a chance to lay bare the feelings that had simmered beneath the surface for so long. "Honestly, yes," I admitted, my voice steady despite the rapid beat of my heart. "I didn't know how to handle it at first, but there's definitely something there." The room fell silent, the gravity of my words hanging heavily in the air. I could see a flicker of realization in their eyes, as if the unspoken bond we shared had finally come to light. My stepson's friend leaned in closer, his voice low and inviting. "What if we explore that just a little more?" I felt my breath catch. It was tempting, so very tempting, but there was a nagging voice in the back of my mind reminding me of the complications that lay ahead. Still, I could feel the heat rising between us, the magnetic pull drawing us closer. "Are you sure about this?" I asked, my heart racing at the thought of crossing that line. He nodded, a confident smile playing on his lips. "Absolutely. We're all adults here, and this feels right. I think we should just see where this goes." My stepson's eyes were filled with a mixture of concern and intrigue. "I trust you both. Just know that this could change things." His words lingered in the air, a reminder of the delicate balance we were trying to maintain. But at that moment, the thrill of the unknown overshadowed any lingering doubts. "Okay," I said finally, the decision sealing our fates. "Let's see where this goes." The energy in the room shifted again, more potent and exhilarating. We exchanged looks, the tension crackling in the air as the reality of our situation sank in. Without another word, we moved together, a magnetic force pulling us closer. I leaned in, our lips meeting again, this time with more urgency. It was a kiss filled with the promise of exploration, of something new and uncharted. The thrill of the moment overwhelmed me, and I surrendered to the wave of desire coursing through me. As we kissed, I felt my stepson's friend wrap his arms around me, pulling me closer. My stepson joined us, his hands finding my waist as he embraced us both. It was a rush of sensations, 3 bodies intertwined in an intoxicating dance of passion and curiosity. I could feel their warmth against me, the way their bodies fit together in perfect harmony. We pulled away, breathless and flushed, our eyes wide with the thrill of what we had just shared. "This is crazy," I said, my heart racing. "But it's also amazing," his friend replied, a wide grin on his face. "We'll take it slow," my stepson added, his expression serious, but filled with excitement. "We'll figure this out together." The 3 of us sat close together, sharing soft touches and lingering glances, the air thick with possibility. As the night wore on, we played more games and talked, our boundaries blurring with each passing moment. Laughter mingled with hushed confessions, and every brush of skin sent shivers down my spine. Eventually, the evening wound down, and the atmosphere shifted to one of intimacy and vulnerability. We found ourselves snuggled together on the couch, the glow of the TV flickering in the dim light. I felt a sense of safety with them, a feeling that I hadn't realized I craved. "Can I ask something?" I finally said, breaking the comfortable silence. "Of course," my stepson's friend replied, his gaze steady. "What happens now?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Where do we go from here?" His eyes sparkled with mischief and sincerity. "We take it one day at a time. We explore this connection, figure out what it means for all of us." "Agreed," my stepson chimed in. "We just need to be honest with each other and communicate. This could be something really special if we let it." I nodded, feeling a wave of relief wash over me. I had been so afraid of the complications, of what this could mean for our family dynamic, but hearing their reassurance made me feel lighter. As the night deepened, I couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. The future was uncertain, but it was also filled with excitement and potential. We had opened a door to something beautiful and complicated, and I was ready to step through it with them. In the days that followed, our bond deepened in ways I hadn't expected. We shared secret glances and playful touches, each interaction filled with an exhilarating mix of affection and desire. Every time we were together, the connection grew stronger, solidifying a foundation built on trust and mutual respect. Yet through it all, we remained committed to each other, knowing that what we had was worth fighting for. Every moment spent together brought us closer, solidifying our connection in ways I had never thought possible. As we continued to explore our feelings, I couldn't shake the sense of excitement that came with this new chapter in our lives. The journey ahead was uncertain, but it was filled with possibilities and the promise of a love that defied the ordinary. In the end, it wasn't just about the physical connection we had. It was about the deep emotional bond we were cultivating. I knew that whatever lay ahead, we would face it together, united by the love and trust we had forged. And as I lay in bed that night, a smile spread across my face, knowing that I had stepped into a world of love and adventure that was just beginning to unfold. I had opened my heart to a new kind of love, one that was complex, thrilling, and undeniably real. The suspense of what came next hung in the air, and I couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement at the thought of our journey together. Whatever challenges awaited us, I was ready to face them head-on, knowing that love, in all its forms, was worth every moment of uncertainty. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more exciting, suspenseful stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. There's so much more to come, and I promise you won't want to miss a single moment of it.